Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction bingo for One Piece chapter 1169, and I'm really excited to read. Honestly, I don't want to say it's been a long 2 weeks, but I kind of had to think a little bit to refresh myself on where we left off. It feels like it's been weirdly a long time since the last one, even though it was only a single break week. But either way, I am recording these scans. I didn't do them last night when they came out. I'm doing them early on Friday. Yeah, today's Friday. So if any of you want to see these videos early in the future, if you're seeing this, if you hit join down below to become a member, go to patreon.com/HakuofTheTubes, or a link will be in the description. I post it for patrons and members as soon as I record the scans, and then I make it public for everybody when the official translation comes out. So if you want to see it early, you can do it that way. But either way, I don't think there's too much else to say. I am kind of struggling today. Ever since I woke up, I have just been struggling to keep my eyes open. I'm feeling pretty rough. So, sorry if that makes me low energy in some way. Hopefully it won't. I mean, not any more low energy than usual, but I am really excited because One Piece has just been incredible this arc. I've been really loving it. So yeah, let's just see what I got on my bingo board. If you want to generate your own bingo card to play along while you're reading on your own or while you're watching this or whatever, there will be a link in the comments and description. I always update it every week. I didn't really update the spaces you could generate compared to last week. I didn't really think there'd be a big enough difference to justify that. So either way, we'll see what I get. And of course, there are 30 options that it can put on your card, so we won't all get the same options. But I ended up with Odar Narrator Box. Thank God, that sounds easy. God Knights, with what we're doing here, actually, that might be pretty much guaranteed if we're counting if we're counting Harald. Shirahoshi or Lola, Gorosei, Yonko, Cross Guild, or Evolutionary. Okay, that's getting a little bit more difficult for me. Bounty Reveal, Zoan Transformation, any Straw Hat member, Food, Imo-sama, Free Space which we can click, Named Attack, Kid or Heart Pirates. This little area over here is getting rough. Straw Hat Grand Fleet Representative, Back to the Present, new named character, Joy Boy or Nika mentioned, a new named Devil Fruit, silhouetted character. I'm realizing new name Devil Fruit is a really difficult space. We pretty much never get that. Carrot Endor, Zunisha, Blood Sweater Tears, King Harald or Ida, and then a flashback. Okay, well, if we get back to the present, maybe this could work. Maybe if we also get a Zoan. I think what I'm looking forward to, so I think we're going to see more details about Harald's death here. I forget what the chapter title was when I clicked onto it. That's something that I'm maybe semi-expecting, is that we're going to see, I don't know if we'll see the entirety of Harald's death here, but we're going to see what's going on from Loki's perspective probably. I don't know that we'll get back into the present, but I think, maybe most interested to learn more about whatever the special devil fruit is. We've got to talk about that at some point, yeah? But either way it starts off, we have the jump cover because Luffy's front and center. Of course, it's One Piece. And it has this nice stained glass theme for the cover. And of course, I've been out for so long of Shonen Jump that a lot of these towards the bottom are going to be series that I don't recognize at all. Toward the top, though, some of the long-running stuff is, of course, I've heard of Kagurabachi. I'm not sure about the guy with the green hair and the globe there. You see Japan on the globe. Okay, never mind. I don't recognize him. I was going to say art style, design style wise, is that going to be somebody from Ichi the Witch? But no, Ichi's there. Up above, we have the character from Elusive Samurai, which it's wild that Elusive Samurai is still ongoing. Speaking of that, you have Chinatsu, I think was her name, from Blue Box. How on earth are they still pulling content out of Blue Box? It felt like it was struggling when I was reading 20, 30 chapters in, and it has to be nearing 200 at this point, right? It has to be over 150 at this point. How are they still doing Blue Box? And then we have Witch Watch, and again, I skipped completely over Sakamoto, and Roboco there. How are they still doing Roboco? I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense. It's just a gag manga and everything. And I guess I don't want to hate on Roboco. It's just not for me, It's just not for me. Like, I read the manga and maybe read a good dozen or so chapters, and I'm just like, wow, I feel like the comedy here would really appeal to me if I were like a Japanese guy in my like late 50s or 60s. Like, if it feels like if I were an old Japanese man, maybe these references would hit a bit harder. And then I tried to give the anime a shot, and same deal. I was like, I feel old almost all of the time, but looking at this, I'm like, wow, I feel too young for this. It's rare that I am like, wow, I feel too young for something, but Bokuto Roboco definitely made me feel too young for this. Okay, we have a Rocks Pirates color spread. So this might be our official like lineup of like the main Rocks Pirates. So I guess Gilbastar, I don't see him here. He's getting kicked out of the lineup. So we have the Rocks symbol, like the little Jolly Roger they use where it's all spelled out. And then down front and center, we have a tiger. We have Rocks himself. And this is good. We get some color, some official colors for the characters. I had seen, gosh, what was it from? There was something before where they showed Rocks' official color scheme before. So he has the white and the streaks are blue. So again, is there going to be some buggy connection? If so, how is there going to be a buggy connection? It just feels weird that his face in a lot of panels looks so similar to Buggy's face. You would think that has to be on purpose. And then to also give him the blue hair, either it's a wild red herring that Oda's doing just to troll people, or there's some connection, and it's like, how are we going to get that connection? You got Captain John right beside him, and then you have Newgate with Stussy and Big Mom, Struzen. So Struzen's counting as part of the main lineup. You have Silver Axe. And again, Silver Axe with the X over his chin. And the face shape may get some sort of Drake connection at some point. You've got Gloriosa and her snake there. So almost, if the stash was a little more connected, looking like a Hogan-esque look back there for what was his name, Barbell, with the yellow hair. Okay, then blue hair for what's his face? Ah, God, Marlin. Honestly, Marlin here with the blue and the sideburns, kind of reminding me of Frankie here. Like, Marlin's kind of, again, we know that Frankie was abandoned by some random pirate parents. Is Marlin going to be, are we nepo-piecing Frankie, perhaps? I doubt it, but then you see Ochoku, and still Ochoku, to me, his hair looks green here, and he always, I know the very clear thing to connect him to is Caribou and Korobu. He definitely looks like Caribou and Korobu, but also he's always looked to me like Vito. But again, that might just be a bunch of designs converging because they're all designed by the same guy. Then red hair is not what I was expecting for Ganzui. You got Shiki and Kaido. Okay, so there's our color spread lineup of the main Rocks crew. Now we have 14 years ago, Gyaban's house. Okay, so this is where we're picking up with the Shanks and the stuff we started the flashback with Shanks and Scopper. Realm of the Sun, Elbaf. Just before the fateful massacre. Chapter 1169. I have to die now. That's probably going to be Harald. What? Captain Roger has a son? Seems like it. Garp told me about him the last time we crossed paths. The kid's done well to stay out of the Navy's clutches. And then I will fill in some bingo board stuff when I get to like a big scene break. And then Garp told me about him last time we crossed paths. So okay, Garp is the one who let them know about Ace. The kid's done well to stay out of the Navy's clutches. Wow. So I basically have a little brother out there. Kind of crazy that Garp kept that sort of connection with the Roger Pirates. True. You and Buggy were always like our sons. Who knows? With Captain Rogers' blood flowing through him, the kid might just become the pirate king of this new era. You know the title's not hereditary, right? Besides, most burdened with high expectations fail to reach the top. Is that so? I think things are more interesting that way. Oh, ah, ha, ha, ha. Okay, so before we take our cut to the next page, we do have some things to fill in really quick. We're in a flashback. Do we have blood, sweat, or tears yet? We might, but I don't remember. So we'll move past it for now. We did get food, though, if we're counting the color spread and everything, because we got Gansui was eating some grapes. Then, let's see. No new named character yet. Ooh, Buggy was mentioned, but we haven't seen Buggy, so I guess no cross guild. We did get Yonko, though, because of the color spread and Shanks. Okay, this I kind of thought we would have more. We have some narrator boxes coming up because it's saying we're going to Oist Castle. Okay, you know, I thought we were going to have a couple more to fill in, but even from just one page in a color spread, that's a good amount. Then, meanwhile, Oist Castle, Elbaf. Dog, ha ha ha. Oh, it's Loki. Prince Loki. He's returned. Elder Yarul just arrived too. Foyer of the audience chamber. Then, Your Majesty? Is that normally how Majesty is spelled? I don't know. Again, I'm off today, so maybe I'm just feeling illiterate. Why did you do that? He was just chaining you as you ordered. Why did I cut down that soldier? What am I? My body. It's moving on its own. It's because of those orders. I'm simply forced to snuff out anyone in my way, mobilize the entire nation, and form a grand army of warriors. Could it really be impossible to obey? Is it messing with my thoughts, too? Will this last forever? Then the country will suffer as long as I live. This body of mine is a walking hazard. It'll be for nothing. It'll all be for nothing. The last 144 years of my life, and he thinks about the school he established to the people. I have to die. I have to die now. You meant kill me now. Huh? Okay, and he thinks about ripping off his horns too and everything. I like this internal monologue here, but also it's interesting that shortly, like this was 14 years ago, so not long after this is when Shanks has his arm bitten off. So it seems like maybe you can escape it by just can you just cut off the chunk of skin where the mark is? Like, does that actually work for breaking the contract, is getting rid of the symbol? As if I'd ever let Elbaf be enslaved. Hurry, before I'm completely taken over. He starts cutting people down. Your Majesty, what are you saying? Old man, I'm back. What the hell are you doing? Harald, it can't be. And this is when they walked in. I really am immortal. And everyone's stabbing through him. I'm regenerating. Stop this. All of you run. He prepares to swing and cleaves through them. How am I supposed to die now? Someone help me. And we have the reactions here from Loki and Yarul. Okay, we're cutting away again. So sorry to break up the pacing even more, but I think we just have blood, sweat, or tears because Loki has a sweat drop here. We've got King Harald. Carrot Andor Zunisha is going to screw us over. I guess technically you could count silhouetted character, maybe. Hold on, let me check. Like up here, yeah, we have the silhouette of Harald. Even though we know he's Harald, he's a silhouetted character. So, Carrot Andor Zunisha might be the cock-blocking space for me here. God's Knights, because Harald's technically a God's Knight. Then I think that's probably it for right now. I don't think we actually saw Imasama. So we're probably good for right this moment. And we're maybe not going to see Hyradian since he's away. I'll cut to the chase. Harald and I. We're both bound by the most shallow pact of the Holy Land to serve the individual they call the Great One. This is this is just the Shallow Sea Covenant contract, mind you. Okay, so with Shanks, he doesn't know that Harald has moved up to the next stage. But even then, when we're in range, we can't defy their orders. That's a curious power. Yeah, it meant we could only talk more plainly when we were away from the Holy Land. I knew it. You're from the Red Hair Pirates, aren't you? Harald would probably be happy to join the Knights of God. So, this is interesting too, that when they were able to talk outside of the Holy Land, he's like, oh, he mentioned, do I recognize you? He's like, oh, you're from the Red Hair Pirates. Is there going to be some connection with their mother or maybe their grandparents from their mother's side? Because he also mentioned thinking the same thing about Shamrock when they first met. But by the time he met Shamrock, Shanks would have probably been too young to have already had the Red Hair Pirates. I mean, hell, Shanks is even fairly young here. Harald would probably be happy to join the Knights of God if it helped Elbaf's membership bid, but if he agrees, he'd have to enter into a deeper covenant. Is that a problem? The covenant of a full knight. Well, if anybody had child on their bingo card, there you go. You got Colin there, or Cologne. The covenant of a full knight blesses them. It's definitely Cologne because a lot of the giants are named after pro wrestlers. Blesses them with inhuman strength and immortality. They're also granted the ability to travel vast distances by means of an abyss pentagram. In exchange, the Great One's voice can reach them anywhere, so disobedience becomes totally impossible even if you're far away. Okay, so if you have the Shallows, you don't get the bonus strength, you don't get the immortality, you don't get to travel through the abyss pentagram. Really? So I would have thought even with Shanks's he could have traveled through the Abyss Pentagram, but you can't travel through the Abyss Pentagram, and you're only controlled if you're in the Shallow Covenant, you're only controlled if you're nearby to Meriwa, not if you're anywhere in the world. Okay. And we see kind of Emu in the background. I'm going to count it if you've got Emu on your board. Okay. Harald would be fully under their thumb if he enters into that deeper covenant. Those guys have a boundless appetite for greed. I can't see them just honoring their word. I really don't think Harald should join. And they hear, buddy, buddy. Then, what the? And it's hockey lightning. Knock it off, old man. What the hell's even going on here? And Loki's clashing with Harald. How are you even breathing after all those stab wounds? Why are you trying to kill us? And where's all the strength coming from? What happened to you, Harald? Come back to your senses. Yarul's drawing his blade. All guards report to the throne room now. He's gone mad. The king, we have to stop him. And we know everyone dies except those two. Then, did a fight break out? And I'm distracted by how low, that's Yarul's mouth, how low down his mouth is there. Did a fight break out? I bet Loki's up to no good again. Hurry, we must aid our king. Explain yourself, Harald. What happened? Okay, and Loki and Yarul are able to restrain him. Elder Yarul, what I've done is unforgivable. My sanity is slipping beyond my control. Please, listen to me, Loki. Tell the people of Elbaf what happened here. Tell them about the guards I slayed. Let it be known that I've repeatedly stained my hands, trying to make Elbaf a member nation. Spread the word about how I was tricked and ended up in this miserable state. They wanted me to enslave our people as warriors for the government. What do you mean? How were you tricked? They never intended to honor my terms from the very start. My king? Elder Yarul, Loki must be the one to eat Elbaf's super-secret treasure. Please see to it. What? No one else can beat me with these godly powers. It was never my dream to see Elbaf subjugated by the government. I'm the worst king in the history of Elbaf. I wonder, though, I feel like we're not going to see him eat the fruit until the present day. Well, we're not going to see him use the fruit's powers until the present day, unless the fruit is the Gomu Gomu no Mi. It was stolen away by the world government. Shanks stole it from them, and then Luffy ended up with it. I still think there's a good chance that the super secret fruit is Luffy's fruit. You must kill me and take the throne, Loki. Let Elbaf, formerly the Gomu Gomu no Mi, currently the Aspel Aspel no Mi. Then, let Elbaf know what a disgrace of a king I was. Kill me and elevate yourself as a hero. I don't care about how I'm remembered. That's not important. The only thing that matters is securing Elbaf's future. Don't you see? You'd go that far. I'm counting on you, Loki. You're the only one who can make things right. And we have this pucky pucky sound effect. Maybe he's being controlled further. And then a huge wah scream. Yeah. He breaks free and starts slicing through everyone. There's a criminal roaming the castle. Sire, seal the chamber doors. Right away, your majesty. What have you done? You're not the King Harald I knew. Indeed, that Harald is gone. I am now the Great One's vassal. Okay, so he's totally lost his mind to Emu's control. None of you will be allowed to escape. The truth of what happened here will die with you. So if a god's knight's personality can totally be changed because of Emu, not just like the Gunko Emu possession, but this seems to not be a possession, but just Harald's personality itself being changed, it makes you wonder about all the other God's Knights, since there is this lack of agency now with them. Then none of you will be allowed to escape. The truth of what happened here will die with you. Okay, so they're sealing the chamber with everyone in. Everybody, run! And he's stepped over. I shall deliver this country into the hands of Lord Emu. Loki, hurry! Damn it, why do I have to eat this devil fruit? Doesn't that mean giving up the ability to ever swim? And why is the old man suddenly acting like he has a totally different personality? You won't be eating it, Loki. That fruit is mine. You just told me to eat it, remember? You can't eat it, Harald. It'd be the end of the world. He gets stabbed from behind by Yarul. Hurry, Loki. No matter what happens, we can't let him lay hands on it. And I thought when we saw... Okay, this is where he gets the sword through the head. I thought when we first saw this flashback that we saw somebody walking down a staircase, maybe toward the fruit. Okay, but he turns around with Yarul's sword still through him and throws his sword through the head of Yarul. Elder Yarul, I'm afraid I must return. The legendary sword you gave me long ago. I need to eat the fruit and take up Ragnir. Okay, so Harald says eat the fruit and take up Ragnir, so maybe eating the fruit is something you need to do in order to wield Ragnir. Is it going to be the mythical Thor fruit or something? The way that we're going very direct with the Norse relation here. I won't let you. And the guards are trying to hold him back. Okay, it's not even the guards. It's Shanks and Scopper now trying to hold him back. Kiban, is that you? Yarul, what happened to you? Don't worry, my helmet saved me. That's so funny. My helmet saved me as he has a sword sticking through his head. Please stop, Harald. You can't let him catch... It would be so funny, actually, if he just, was like, yeah, he takes off his helmet, and it's like, the sword is sticking in one side of the helmet, out the other side of the helmet, but somehow it's never even explained. It just, warped around his head or something. He just pulls the sword off, and the helmet is just, the sword's just stuck through the helmet, but it's not actually through his head. That would actually be a really funny gag. Please, stop, Harald. You can't let him catch Loki. Or stop, Harald. You can't let him catch Loki. No matter how you slice it, we've landed ourselves in a real pinch. Harald, open your eyes. Look at what you're doing. Hey, Shanks. This immortality thing isn't half bad. I truly feel superior now. Damn it. Is there really no way to save him from having to follow these orders? We see the treasury opened. This is the forbidden devil fruit passed down within Elbaf. And then Ragnar comes flying at him. Oh, what is this thing? A surprise attack, chapter 1169 end. Okay, so it must be, I guess maybe, Ragnar was sitting behind the chest and started moving, but then flew at him. So I guess maybe Ragnar will only listen to whoever has the devil fruit for whatever reason. And that's how he can use Ragnar in the present time. Also, though, I didn't feel like Ragnar looked like this in the present. Like, here it's just a, like, rectangular stone with a wooden handle sticking out of it. But I thought in the present it was asymmetrical. Like, one side was flat and the other side kind of horned or something. But I guess I'm just remembering it wrong. Okay, very cool, though. Or maybe even it isn't a devil fruit he has to eat. Maybe the devil fruit itself is Ragnar, and we're going to get more into items that have eaten devil fruits. Because we know that that's what's going on with Shamrock, is that Shamrock has a sword that has a devil fruit, and I feel like that's also going to be Shanks and Garling. I feel like Shanks and Garling's swords are also going to have devil fruits. And people always talk about Shanks' crew not having devil fruits. I think there is a potential chance that we will see Shanks' crew not have devil fruits, but some of the members of Shanks' crew might have items with devil fruits. I think we could see, like, Shanks with his sword, potentially Beckman's gun, maybe Yasopp would have a weapon, like one of his guns or something. I think we could see more devil fruit using weapons. Because it feels like we're kind of seeing more of that here as is. Okay, well, last thing to do is to check if we have anything else, but I really don't think we do. I guess Imusama, I could say. We didn't have a named attack. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else for me that... Yeah, no new named character. Yeah, I think that's it. So Caradandor Zunisha screwed me over here. Alright though. Just double checking everything. Very good chapter. I am just left here wanting more. This week I definitely feel the want for more. This week I'm definitely like, okay, I wish I got a little bit more out of this. I wanted to keep reading. But either way, that's what we're left with. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I discussed it as I went through. Typically, breaking up the pacing with bingo and stuff, it gives me a lot of time. And just generally the way I do the One Piece reactions, I get a lot of time to discuss as I'm reading. But it was really, really good. And maybe we will actually see if it is an actual devil fruit that he eats in conjunction with using Ragnar, and Ragnar only listens to you if you have the devil fruit, then I guess that means he does actually have it. It isn't actually Luffy's fruit. And I prefer it that way. I was really fearing that it was going to be like, oh, the devil fruit was stolen, or oh, the devil fruit gets away, and then Shanks steals it from the world government, and then Luffy ends up with it, and it's actually Elbaf's super secret treasure fruit. I was fearing that this whole time, but it seems like Loki is maybe actually going to have the devil fruit, which I think is so much better. I think that's so much better of an outcome here. It is interesting, though, that Shanks saw all of what's going down here. Shanks knows more than we know of, but Loki talks about hating Shanks. Shanks is part of how he was captured and chained up. This makes me think, okay, now we're seeing how things are going to go with Loki getting the fruit and Harald, but it adds new questions. It's like, okay, so what happened with Shanks and Loki then afterward? And the stuff that happened with Shanks and Loki, actually, that was 6 years ago, right? So was Loki going to go on this sort of reign of terror for the next, 8 years? Because this was 14 years ago, and we go from 14 years ago to 6 years ago. During this reign of terror, maybe, is when he meets Lola, falls in love, gets rejected. Okay, I like that it did bring up some new questions. Either way, though, I guess we'll end here. If you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this week's chapter, my thoughts and reaction. How'd you do on bingo? Subscribe for much more One Piece and much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you want to help support the channel by becoming a member or patron, you get these bingo videos early. You get your name at the end of videos. Sorry though, I haven't looked to update this week. I've just been really busy. And yeah, you can just help support the channel, help me to keep making videos. It's really, really the most helpful thing. Just hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description. Thank you to people who are already members and patrons. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Hawley and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, DD-Ban and Maru, Sheridan Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pate Ardial, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.